So, this isn't at all the type of video ever that I like doing, that's for sure. Wow. I feel like I'm, living through the 60s, or what it kind of would have been like to live through the 60s with, MLK and Bobby Kennedy being taken out. So I made some statements on my social media today about how I feel when I learn the news. If you weren't aware, which is pretty much impossible at this point because it's international major news, that a big, call it MAGA, general in the army of internet podcasters, a guy by the name of Charlie Kirk, was fatally shot in the neck by someone that I have not seen any details on the pewer. But this is extremely sad. Not because Charlie Kirk was a voice of reason in the country, like quite the opposite. He was a big-time Trump guy, and even gave Trump leeway with Epstein, which, wow. Maybe that was his test, from God. Are you going to let this guy get away with this? And he did, so consequence. But I'm not going to go there, okay? Because it goes beyond the person, just Charlie Kirk. It goes beyond just him. He has a family. I don't believe that his wife, nor his little children, 2 girls apparently ages 1 and 3, I don't believe that they should have to be victimized to no longer have a father or husband just because he wanted a career in right-wing MAGA podcasting. The fact of the matter is that's a viable career for people with the talent like he had, obviously, because there was lots of people that listened to him. It's a career path, if you're good at it. And no American should have to be assassinated for their political views. I'll say that again. No American should be assassinated for their political views. Now, with that being said, there are consequences to certain beliefs. You want an example? I'll give you an example. If you can be a neo-Nazi in this country, you can have that ideology. You won't be arrested for it. But there's going to be the consequence of people in your life and otherwise are going to probably treat you differently because you're a fucking neo-Nazi. Okay? What are the consequences of the MAGA shit where they go, okay, we're going to completely dismantle these institutions in government because they're wasteful and don't do what they're supposed to do? And I might agree or disagree with that. We're going to do that. And also, healthcare we're going to eviscerate because we want to privatize most things. Because you have to remember this is a fascist agenda. And what is fascism? It is the corporation controlling the state. So they want corporations to have the majority of the power in the country. That's where they want it. So, we're going to push a fascist ideology, and we're going to fire a bunch of people in government. Like, the numbers are incredibly high with Elon Musk and Doge. That he summarily ended people's salaries. Okay? And what is the deal with the abuse of the American farmer? I thought the Republican Party was supposed to be the party of country, God, the Bible, and farmers. They'd be really close up on that tier list of things that we cared about as Republicans, right? We take care of the farmer, even if we have to pay him subsidies to not plant. we're going to support the farmer. Now they're just chucking the farmer out. This country is fundamentally changing in ways that you don't fully understand. And I'm talking to the MAGA people. You voted for transparency, destroy the deep state, and globalism, and we're going to have a strong country. Strong economy. We're not going to put shackles on capitalism. We're going to let people make money unabashedly. We're going to try and get government mostly out of people's lives. And we're going to have a great American renaissance. That's a freaking awesome vision. That's what I bought in 2016. And it was a lie. I bought a lie. The cult of personality. Donald Trump and the cult of personality. And it was a lie. It was a lie from the start, absolutely. His agenda is for the brotherhood and to get closer to fascism in this country, because I think that's where his mind mostly goes. He likes corporations, you know. And then you couple that with the decision to make corporations persons, which Mitt Romney was a big guy to push that through. Let's make corporations peoples. Wow, do you have an amazingly bad situation there. I'm going to tell you, there's one hope, and it's this man taking over everything. It's that man, Jesus Christ, taking over everything and enforcing a government that forces compassion and love. If you ain't loving, you're out. That's it. If you want bad vibes and people getting hurt, you're out of the kingdom. There's zero doubt about that one. If you enjoy victimizing people and seeing people cry, you're out of the kingdom. You have no place in it. Because the Spirit of God is love, compassion, hope, all of those vibes. That's God vibes. And if you're down with that, then you're down with Jesus. That's why the Jesus movement in the 70s was so powerful, you know. During Vietnam, you know. The Jesus movement. Billy Graham used to go out into the Jesus movement and witness, help them witness. Billy Graham. I heard my mom said he like dressed up as a beatnik, you know, and he would go and just preach to them. That's incredible shit. Awesome. Billy Graham, who was a Mason. There's no way I'm throwing Billy Graham under the bus. I'm sorry, you know. He may have been a Mason, but man, he did some shit for the gospel. I'm not going to take that crown from Billy Graham. That's for God to do if he was evil. That's not for me. I'm going to give him credit and say he preached all over the world Jesus Christ crucified. You want to be saved? He gave you the real gospel. How am I going to come against Billy Graham? Respect your elders, too. William, respect your elders. Back to the story, as Amanda Breck would say. I haven't heard from Amanda Breck, and I haven't seen any videos come out. God bless Amanda Breck. I'll probably never know when he passes away. Because who the hell's going to tell us? I would talk to his son. You know, let us know if he ever passes on, okay? I don't even know your first name, I'm sorry. But Amanda Breck's son. Let us know. If and when he passes, you know, for the internet. Because there's people out there that love your dad. I was an asshole. You know, I was confused by your dad's being pretty. Now I totally get it. Okay? I totally get what he was doing now. Because he tried to make me understand, no, dude, I ain't no whatever. I like chicks, you know? But I judged. I was like, if you want to be a good Mormon, you can't be, like, you know, wanting to be a chick and stuff. I was way more narrow-minded. Even though I was cussing like a sailor when I wanted and, you know, drinking and shit, you know? I judged his shit because he's like, oh, well, you know, I'm like this hermaphroditic being. You know, it's his body. Why am I judging him for feeling like, I guess he's hermaphroditic, you know? I'm not going to say prove it, you know what I mean? He's not going to lie about that. But he identifies as a male that knows that he can attract other males. Because he's got like a femme physique, right? And you know, that's the deal. People got to stop judging shit so hard and trying to throw people under buses, you know? Jesus Christ went to the rejected of society and said, you should rejoice because the kingdom of God is at hand, and the door's going to be open to make it to heaven because the Messiah is walking the earth and he's going to do his mission for you. You know? But back to the story. That I really believe that anybody that rejoices at the situation with Charlie Kirk passing away from being pew-pewed, I honestly implore you to repent of thinking that this is a victory for you. You know my views now. I'm a progressive now. So did I back Charlie Kirk's agenda up? Hell no, absolutely not. It's an anathema to what this country should do. Because he's a fascist pimp. He pimped fascism, Charlie Kirk. That sounds like left rhetoric to me, Rev. I'm sorry, but that's just true, because Trump is a fascist. And an authoritarian-minded fascist at that. Mussolini. So, did I support Charlie Kirk's MAGA rhetoric? Of course not, because I'm not of that ilk. Like you have these the new the new fascist party of America embraces authoritarian and satanic ideology. So there's zero chance that I can be a part of that. But I can tell you that a man with 2 baby girls, 1 and 3, that's a tragedy for this country, because no one should die for political speech. That's not something we do in the country. We have a First Amendment right that you can have views. If they're bad views, then they're going to be sorted out by the public, and you're going to be ostracized from society. For example, with a KKK. You know, nobody's cool with that shit unless you are it. And society will ostracize that, and you're going to be a pariah in society with those type of views. That's how we, as a Roman Republic-style republic, sorts out morality and what's acceptable. If you view an assassination or any sort of political violence as okay, you've opened the door to the worst stuff in history. You're talking Mao Zedong, you're talking Adolf Alois Hitler, you're talking about Joseph Stalin, you're talking about the worst of the worst. If we're going to start saying, yeah, it's okay, political violence. So with that being said, I will say God bless everybody, pray for this country, and God bless Charlie Kirk's family during this really tough time. And hopefully we can come together as a community of like-minded political junkie types and say, yes, we can disagree. We can go on shows. We can do debates and yell. Do it all day. A robust debate can help society. But when that debate involves weaponry, we reject that. Prima facie. On its face, we look at that and go, we are going to reject that as society because it's chaos. Otherwise, pray for the country. Jesus is King.